So we're gonna start off. Today I'm gonna be doing the one pan pork chop with apple and onions and potato planks. It's been in the mix. You guys all had. Have you been in the program for a while? Have you seen
This was
second one? Okay, so you might not have seen this one yet.
I actually made it outside when I was because I didn't want the regular other pork stuff. I made this one.
There you go. Good.
it was on this week's packet.
Yeah.
Haven't done it yet? Okay. It's a good one. I mean, it's got apples in it, so it throws some people off because it's savory and sweet together. But it's tasty and it's tender. So we're going to start off with potato because I like to take the potato and I like to blanch or leach it a little bit because I don't like all that starch in there. So I already washed it. It's nice and clean. I'm going to just do a little. The recipe says to do planks and cut them into 1/4 inch thick. I like to make little. So I'll do wedges with them. So usually I'll take them, and when you quarter them, there's one spot. If you see, it's not perfectly triangular. There's a little longer piece right here. So I will take that longer piece and I'll cut it down right about there. We can see. Perfect. And then I'll take it one more right in here. The idea to be, you want to get them as uniform as you can, about the same weight, same size when you put them in the oven. That way they all cook kind of the same. Otherwise, you'll have some ones that are crunchy, that are quite done yet, and then you've got some that are overcooked. So you try to get them the same size when you do that. And usually potatoes are a weird shape, and you can't get the perfect cylinder. So that's why I do it this way. Just quick cut, and then I'll take those, and I'll throw them in a bowl, and I'll put some water over the top of them. Now, a lot of time you don't have to do this. But what happens is some of the starch that's in these potatoes will come out. You'll see this water will turn a little opaque. And when you fry up in the oven, more of a bake off, then they'll get crispier because that starch will come out and you'll have more of a crispy bite. So that's why I do that. Also, it helps to remove some of the sugar in the flank. Yeah. It's easy to grab onto, and then when you set them up on your board, you set them on the peel like that. So when you hit them with your spatula, they all just pop off the peel. Saves you a little time, saves you a little scrubbing too. So that helps too. All right, so I get that going first because I want that to sit in the water for a little bit. And you'll notice on the recipe it has that at the top. So we'll get that going, and then I'll get going on my cuts. So I have some red onion, and I have some apple, and I have a little pork chop right here. And this will be what you'd see coming through in your packet. So we're going for 1/3 of an onion. I think that's what it's on the recipe. 1/3 small red onion. So I already cleaned it up a little bit, save some time. One of these is about 1/3. So I'll take it. I like to do like these little half rainbow things, so that you don't have this giant bite when you're trying to grab with your fork. So I'll just take that like that. And then we're doing 1/3 of an apple for the recipe. So I'll take it, and I'll do 1/3 of it. Take the core out this way. And then I'll take it down about the same as the red onion. So I'll take them down this way. And then I cut them across like that. Again, it's kind of similar shape, similar size, so that when you cook it, you have the same kind of mouthfeel throughout the whole bite. So those go together. Pop that into a bowl here. A lot of the apples that we're gonna put in your package right now don't iodize like some of the ones you're more familiar with, like the Red Delicious turns brown right away. The Opal apple, this one's called the Koru apple. They don't turn brown as quickly, so you'll have a little time to cut them and set them up this way. It doesn't really matter if they turn brown. It's not they don't go bad. It's not as pretty. So if you do it and you have an apple like a Red Delicious, those will brown out really fast. Wait to do the apple until closer if you want it to look bright and crisp. But the Koru, you can do it earlier. It's not going to hurt anything because it doesn't brown out as fast. All right. So we got that cut up. I have already put my chicken broth together with a little bit of this mustard. So we've got a quarter cup of the chicken stock and a third of a teaspoon of Dijon. The Dijon's got a little horseradish in it. It's got a little wine in it. It's French. Actually, this one's from Wisconsin, but French in nature. So it gives a little different flavor than regular red or regular yellow mustard or the other kinds. It's got a nice little kick to it. Goes well with the onion and the apple. Brings the sweet and savory together pretty good. So we'll get that going. That's ready to go. Got my pork chop. We're just going to put a little salt and pepper on that. You'll notice that your cuts in your packet, you're anywhere from 3.5 to like 5 or so. I'm getting a big loin like this, and I'm hand cutting all these. So I do the best I can. Sometimes they're thicker, sometimes they're thinner, and I'll weigh every few of them. So sometimes you'll get a big, thick one. Sometimes you get a little thinner one. But the idea is around 4 ounces for serving. So that's about what you're looking for a nice protein helping. A lot of people, you go to a restaurant where they're going to give you a pound. That's why you get this kind of profile right here. You don't need that much. Learn to eat slower, learn to eat better. You know. So that's how we go. And you can see I haven't missed a lot of those. But here we go. So I'm going to take a little bit of olive oil. This recipe's calling for 2 teaspoons for the pan. I'm a professional, so I can eyeball it. But if you want to get all into it, there's your measure right here.
Does it matter what type of olive oil? Virgin?
Yeah, so what I do when I fry, and I think I might have told you this before, this right here is called pomace. This is, so there's an extra virgin olive oil. That's the first press. It comes off. You're going to get the virgin oil. This is down after probably the third press. You're crushing seeds. You're getting all that kind of stuff into it. This one, the flash point on it is a lot higher. So when you get into this oil, it's not as pronounced flavor. It's a little lighter flavor, but it still has the health qualities. It's a mono oil rather than the other ones. Went right out of my head.
I got extra.
What's that?
Is extra virgin still okay?
Extra virgin is okay. The trick is that you're gonna smoke that oil. Keep the temperature low. You're not gonna get a nice brown on your meat the way you will with this one, because I can go higher heat on this. I think the flash point on extra virgin is somewhere in 380. This will go to 410 or something like that. So you can get the heat up on it.
The extra virgin, you can't cook as high as like the virgin.
Yeah. You can't always find it in grocery stores because most people just, your store will sell the extra virgin and they're going to make money on that. And so you don't see this kind of stuff as much. Yeah.
Since EVOO has a way of congealing the refrigerator for salad dressing,
Yeah.
is that one with
This one, I mean, you can use it in dressing, but it's not going to have the same flavor. So it's the olive oil that you get, the EVOO olive oil, the extra virgin, is going to have that pronounced olive oil flavor. And then the nice thing about it is it does do that congealing in the refrigerator and that sort of thing. So you got that, and I don't know why the word just went right out of my head, but it's mono something oil, not the trans or the poly. So monos are better for your body. But if you got that, like avocado oil is a good one, and that's also a light oil you can use, and it's not as, the flavor's not as pronounced. So if you're making a dressing and you want to taste spices in it, the avocado oil is a nice one. You know, some of your nut oils are nice. Walnut oil, a little more pronounced in flavor. Money, so you got to be careful. The avocado you can find a little more often now, a little less expensive. The pumice is actually a lot cheaper than the extra virgin. I mean, you might be able to find it on Amazon or something like that. But like I say, this one I like to use for cooking. I don't usually use it cold because it doesn't have that olive oil flavor. It's tame. I mean, it's more like a vegetable oil or a canola oil in flavor. It's not as much. But I haven't noticed it doing it because, well, I don't put it in the refrigerator because I cook with it. No, I don't make dressings with it. I mean, I probably have because I run out of something at some point, but I haven't noticed. So anyhow, that's that. And it does cook really well. It takes a bit to get it smoked up. So we got that. I got a little salt and pepper on here. We'll get that a little warmer. I like to get a little heat on my pan before I put my meat into it. That way it doesn't stick to the pan. And we put it in a cold pan a lot of times. We like to just hang out in there. And I didn't bring a spatula out, so I don't want to fight with it. So we got that. We got here. I'm going to put my spices into this now. So we got a little bit of sage, a teaspoon of sage. Personally, it's a lot of sage for me, so I go a little lighter on the sage. I go a little lighter on the rosemary because I used to be a landscaper. And it reminds me of my my old job, smelling rosemary. So just a little bit of that. Calls for a pinch of thyme. I like thyme, so I pinch hard on that one. My preference. You guys figure out what you like, and you can spice the way you like. That's how it's fun. So we got that. Get that in there. I'm calling for a clove of garlic, or let's see. It says the garlic is in the potatoes, but I'm gonna put a little bit in here because I like it. Hey, I follow recipes loosely. Now, see how this is starting to smoke? If this was extra virgin, you'd have a fire going right now. So this is good to go. We'll drop this in. Can we see? Kind of? You can kind of see. Okay. There's a little flambe there. See that? Dinner and a show is what I usually say. There, we got that. So we got the potatoes. While that's cooking, I'm going to keep this eye on that. And my blind eye, I'm going to go over here. I'm going to just strain this water off. A lot of times it's said to cut this down. Your house has 75,000 BTUs, so you probably won't have to deal with this as much. So this has a little olive oil in it. A little salt, pepper, garlic. Coat the garlic or the olive oil in first. And I usually just use the same bowl and drain the water out. I don't get too crazy about drying off potato wedge because I don't think it matters much. Recipes are for that. It seems to just want to get something really. So get that going. That's going to go on your probably a much smaller pan, but this is all I've got. So I put a little bit in there. At least it's on my hand, so I'd say I did. So here we go. I just lay these up on the peel side. And if you cut them kind of squirrely like that, they'll fall over sometimes. And it doesn't hurt too bad, but those stick to your pan a little bit more. So that's why I try to get them to stand on the peel end, just to save on the dishwasher. So that's ready to go. And then that's going to go in the oven, 375 for 20 or so minutes. I like mine crispy, so I usually go 24, 25. Alrighty. So we'll pass that over. And then by the magic of television, the potatoes come out so fast and cooked, ready to go, right? So here they go.
I figured he.
That's that. Alrighty. Now, take your piece of pork chop out, set it aside just for a second. I leave the juice in there and put this stuff right in. I don't add more oil. I just use what is already there. Just toss this around just a little bit. We already got the spices in where we were doing that, so we don't have to waste some time. And then we mixed this together earlier. That'll be ready to go as soon as this. So I like to caramelize the apples and the onions. Just give a little brown to them. It pulls some of the water out so that when you add this, it sucks this back into it. Sweetens them up a little bit so your apples will get sweeter as the water goes out. The onions also get sweeter as the water goes out. Out of the way. All right, so now we're just toasty cooking, doing a little bit of that. And then also by the magic of TV, I'm gonna grab these because they're already cooked too. So we have the pork nestled in there with the apples and the onions, as seen on TV. You can see too. All right. So take your stuff, get your nice caramelization going there. You can see on this pan the brown on the apples, and as you add the liquid to it, they're gonna plump back up again. But you already had that caramelization in there, so they sweeten up. So we get that. Once we get a little brown on, then we put it in our base and our mustard. And then as that reduces just a little bit, you'll put that piece of pork right back into it. So I'll let that go while we're doing that. And then you just put it together. That's about it. I mean, it's a pretty quick meal. You can put it together pretty fast for your family, or if you're just eating for yourself, or if you're feeding people 10 different things, then it's only one part of it. So how many you got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people here.
The potato planks is the one thing I can get the family to eat. They're potatoes. And garlic. Actually bought them on Amazon for like $5 and oil spritzer.
While we're waiting for this to cook, I'll go ahead and put some of these
Yeah,
out.
it's like $4 on Amazon for little olive oil spritzer.
For a little spray?
Yeah. So I got one of them now too.
Yeah, those are nice. Misto, something like that.
It's an oil sprayer.
Okay.
It's a Goodyear off brand. It was like $5 on Amazon. But it really helps.
All right, we'll pull that out. I'll just break this down a little bit so everybody can get a taste of it. So we'll get that in there. And we'll put this pork right back in the middle of that. And then I usually just take the onions and the apples and put them over the top, and then make sure I get that pork down in the juice. So it's kind of just looking like that while you're cooking it. There we go. Just let that go for a little bit. It'll soak up more of the flavor as it cooks. Just lower temp. Let it simmer for a sec. All right. Let's get a couple tasters out here.
For each.
Yeah.
I'll just start this way. The advantage is of sitting at the front table. I'll just start that first. smells delicious. I actually plan on making this tomorrow night.
Go. Alrighty. That it? Any more?
Just for.
There you go.
We're good. I don't want one.
You want it? Maddie, you want one? Alright. How's that working for you?
Smells delicious.